Let's look up the word oppressed and see what it means. By Webster Dictionary, it says physical or mental distress, to keep down by cruel or unjust use of authority, to weigh heavily on the mind, spirit, and senses. Come on now, you've been robbed of the knowledge of yourself, the knowledge of God, the knowledge of your language, your culture, your mores, your folkways. All of that has been stripped from you. In the annals of history, there has never been a people in the type of slavery that you and I have been. So the scripture is talking about the black man and black woman of America. God is interested in the intimate affairs of black people in America. And God has raised divine leadership for black people in America. We're not necessarily trying to make you become a Muslim in title. If you want to be a Christian, continue to be a Christian, but not the type of Christian that your slave master taught you to be. Because there are two forms of Christology. The first form is white Christian theology. And the other form is what Jesus taught. I was going over some notes in class yesterday with Dr. Brown in our Christian ethics class, and it was saying in the book that with Constantine, it says that him and his council, it said they were influenced by the tenets of Christianity rather than the political system influencing Christianity. I respectfully disagree, because I say if they stood on the tenets of Christianity, Constantine would not have taken the cross and conquered, pillaged, and robbed and raped every dark nation that he came in contact with. Martin Luther and all of them cats, they didn't have nothing beneficial for the black or the indigenous people of the planet Earth. They set up a system to benefit them and their people. In fact, I mean, if you say, well, no, that's not true. Well, look at that right there. That's not a representation of the Jesus that I know. The Jesus that this talked about in this book is a black man. His mother Mary was an Egyptian woman. Huh? But they painted an image to you to make you continue slaves to a false system and a false concept and ideology that makes you a slave. So the question is, can you be a slave and a Christian at the same time? Come on now. What type of Christian? The slave master didn't make us Christians to make us better followers of Jesus Christ and better examples. They made us Christians to make us better servants to his world and his system. In fact, the Bible was locked away from us for 300 years. And then when he gave it to us, as we read in the slave religion book, that it was given to us under his guidelines. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that the scholars that he talked to said that the base or the core of the Old Testament is Genesis 12 and Genesis 15. The core of that is the foundation of the work of the Messiah. Come on. So he said that scholars say. So let us see what Genesis 12 and Genesis 15 has to say. Genesis 12 reads, "Now the Lord has said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house, and unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and I will curse them that curse thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed." Well, the Israel over there, that's not the real Israel. Come on. It's right here in America. You, black man and black woman, children of Israel. Yeah. Why? How can you say that, Brother Durrell? Because if you look at the back of the dollar and over the eagle's head, there's some stars. Right. But if you trace the stars over the eagle's head, it represents the symbol or the Star of David, right, showing you where the real fulfillment of the real Israel is, right here in America. Now let's go to Genesis 15. So if the government of the United States would not bless them and bless these over here in America, then God will stay his hand. That's your birthright. Right. but we'll get into that later. It says, Genesis 15, 13th verse. And he said unto Abram, God talking, know of a surety that thy seed will be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve, I, God, will judge, and afterwards they shall come out with great substance. Now that's the King James Version. Now let's see what it says over here in the New Living Translation. Make it more plain. It says in the 15th, it says, and as Abram fell into a deep sleep, a terrifying darkness came unto him. Then the Lord said unto Abram, you can be sure that your descendants will be strangers in a foreign land, where they will be oppressed as slaves for 400 years. We just went over that word oppressed, right? Yes. In 400 years, right? But I will punish the nation. I, God, will punish the nation that enslaves them. And in the end, they will come away with great wealth. Now, come on now. That's talking about, God is talking about that these people that is of his choice are coming out and coming away. But Negroes, with our slave mentality, we keep trying to build up the house of the slave master. That's right. Now, Minister Farrakhan said at the Tavis Smiley State of Black America, when they were talking about the covenant with Black America. Well, it's fine to have a covenant with yourself, but first we must break our covenant with death. Yes. Come on. Yes. Because you have to understand that this world don't want to let you go, so that you can inherit your blessings. When Moses preached to the children of Israel, they didn't want to hear Moses because they were comfortable with Pharaoh. Moses went back to Pharaoh and said, they're not listening to me. Well, then God began to tamper with the wealth of Pharaoh that began to subject the children of Israel. And then when their wealth, when their comfortable position was threatened, then they began to hear the voice of God through Moses. All right. And so, just like when God told the Son of Man, prophesy unto the bones, Son of Man. Speak to the bones, Son of Man. Yes. And when the Son of Man began to speak to the bones, they began to rattle and shake. That's right. But they didn't get up. So the Son of Man said, Lord, they're not getting up. God said, prophesy unto the winds. Yes. And when the winds began to blow on the bones, the Bible said they stood up an exceedingly great army. Indeed. Well, we know we're not talking about real literal bones, but bones are symbolic of that which was once alive. Indeed. Well, if you look at the condition of the black man and black woman in America and all over the planet, we are the remains of a once great people. But if you look at us now, we're mentally, spiritually, socially, and politically, economically dead. So the resurrection of dead is talking about you and I. The mental and the spiritual resurrection. Because the book says there's a new Jerusalem coming down out of heaven. Behold, there'll be a new heaven and a new earth. Well, why should there be a new heaven and a new earth if we going somewhere after we die? But we have to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth while we live. Yeah, right, all right. The book of Isaiah says what? For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given. Yes, yes. Huh? Right. And it says, hold on, I'm going to get it real right. It says, and not a government, it says, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, yes. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, not the King of Peace. He's up under the King. Huh? So the government upon his shoulders is a literal new world order that you have to believe in. And it comes out of these two books, Bible and Holy Quran. We don't want no more democracy or a republican. We want a theocracy, because both has failed the total needs of our people in our community. They have not served nothing of our people. We're relatively still up under our slave master begging for crumbs.